We must go now.
Papa!
Tiago, go with your mother to the trap. Take this. It will always be your guide.
Yes, Papa.
We will join you shortly.
Xavier, the painting.
La maledicción. This way.
Senora, it is too late. Go.
No! Papa!
Senor, in here.
Search them. Of course.
Paris in the spring. Passion, romance, l'amour. I was working in art insurance. It paid the rent, just about. And then, by chance, I met Nico at a private view.
You didn't tell me that you were back in Paris, Josh?
We should catch up. Let's have lunch.
Nobody move!
Non, monsieur, not la malédiction. Oh.
Stay back.
Once again, Paris had shown me her dark side. A brutal robbery, a senseless murder. Nico and I were about to be drawn into a new and terrifying adventure together. The gallery owner was dead. I guess sometimes playing the hero doesn't pay. My company had insured the exhibition, so I had a crime to solve. The cops would be here soon. I didn't have much time. It was my phone, mankind's most treasured possession. The gallery owner was dead. I guess sometimes playing the hero doesn't pay. My company had insured the exhibition, so I had a crime to solve. The cops would be here soon. I didn't have much time. The priest was giving last rites to the gallery owner. I didn't want to interfere. The priest was administering the last rites. Excuse me, Father.
Yes, my son.
I'm George Stobart. My company insured the exhibition.
My name is Simeon.
Is there anything I can do?
You can pray for his soul.
A senseless murder.
On the contrary, this killing makes plenty of sense.
What do you mean?
A great evil has taken place. This is the work of the devil.
What?
I am a Dominican priest. I know these things. And now, excuse me, I must pray.
1 minute, I'd been planning dinner with Nico. The next, I was talking art theft, murder, and the devil with a priest. There was a small piece of paper in the dead man's hand. It was too intriguing not to take a look. It read, 2:30 p.m., be ready. Innocent enough, until I realized that the robbery took place at 2:30 p.m. There was something fishy going on around here, and it wasn't just the canapes. I quickly replaced the note. A small purple nozzle was poking out of his pocket. In Henri's pocket was a tiny bottle. It was a bottle of Brett. The label claimed it would wake the beast within. Poor guy. This wasn't the first time I'd looked into a dead man's eyes. A cryptic note in a bottle of overpowering cologne. No personal effects or anything else of substance. I needed to find where he kept his records. The stolen painting was called La Malediccio, painted by someone called L. Serp in 1937, and worth just 40 grand. This was where the stolen painting had hung. Why that painting? And why kill for it? The stolen painting had an alarm, which should have sounded when the painting was removed. I needed to find out why it hadn't. So that was why the alarm hadn't sounded. A wire had been cut by someone who knew exactly what they were doing. This was an inside job. The pressure pad appeared to be working fine, but the cut wire had ensured that the alarm wouldn't sound when the painting was removed. The pressure pad appeared to be working fine, but the cut wire had ensured that the alarm wouldn't sound when the painting was removed. The pressure pad appeared to be working fine, but the cut wire had ensured that the alarm wouldn't sound when the painting was removed. The pressure pad appeared to be working fine, but the cut wire had ensured that the alarm wouldn't sound when the painting was removed. It was the speaker cone for the alarm. It hadn't sounded when the painting was stolen. It was a small red button. The button bypassed the pressure pad system. Cutting the wire had disabled the pads. The alarm on that painting hadn't been sabotaged. So what made La Malediccio so special? Challenging and experimental, like the $85K price tag. That painting was worth way more than the stolen one. So why didn't they take that? $60,000 for a sketch? Ouch. Another painting with a working alarm. A rare glimpse into the absinthe-addled mind of the artist. A snip at only 80 grand. The label said it was painted in 1932. The gallery wanted 80 grand for it. Just 90,000 for this one. Another working alarm. So the thief took the only painting whose alarm had been sabotaged. But why La Malediccio? Why that particular one? The tag said 60 grand. Wow, nice work if you can get it. With luck, the security camera had captured the robbery. The cable for the camera ran into the room marked private. The door was marked private. The door was locked with a keypad. If I wanted to get in there and look at the CCTV footage, then I'd need to find the number. That bust was pretty impressive. I wondered who'd been the model. The bust was balanced precariously on the pedestal. I didn't want to knock it off. For the discerning connoisseur, a soupçon at 80,000. All I needed was a mere 65,000, and this little gem could be mine. 55,000. Huh, shame. Just outside my price range. The murderer left a pizza box on the table. The thief left the pizza box behind. I wondered what was in it. Well, no surprise there. Pizza. The guy must have been hungry. There was only one slice left. It was a blob of chewed gum. There was no mistaking this body. It was Hector Lane, art critic extraordinaire. He and I had met before. For a moment, I thought he was dead, but from the snoring, I guessed he'd only fainted. Lane was out cold. I was going to need something to bring him around. Time to awaken the beast. What?
What was that? It smells like the 70s. Where am I?
You fainted. There was a pair of nail clippers on the floor. The nail clippers were monogrammed with the letters H.L. Hector Lane. They must have fallen out of his pocket. Welcome back to the land of the living.
I wouldn't exactly call this living. Don't just stand there. Get me something to eat. I've had a terrible shock, you know.
Excuse me, Mr. Lane.
Food. My nerves demand food.
I found a slice of pizza.
I asked for food, boy, not a cardboard simulacrum.
Oh, okay, if you don't want it.
I didn't say that. Now give it here. Given the circumstances, that was surprisingly acceptable. Now, what's been going on? Oh, Henri, is he
Dead? Afraid so.
Poor chap. Just like him to steal the limelight, though.
Excuse me.
Do I know you?
Yes, our paths have crossed in the BLEU's gallery.
Of course. The man with the absinthe. I don't suppose you...
Afraid not.
Pity. I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble remembering your name.
I'm George Stobart. I insured the exhibition.
I hope you have deep pockets then, my boy.
Could I ask you a few questions, Mr. Lane?
Fire away.
Did you know the gallery owner?
Of course, we worked together on the exhibition.
Oh, really?
Henri provided the space. I was the creative powerhouse.
How long had you known him?
As a friend, many years. Our professional relationship had only recently blossomed into this exhibition under my curatorial wing. And now the poor fellow's gone and got himself killed.
If Lane was involved with the gallery, then he had to know the code to that door. Do you know anything about the stolen painting?
Of course, dear boy. La Malediccio, a little-known work, turned up at the last minute.
What about the killer? Were you able to get a look at him?
A delinquent in a tin hat. Beyond that, I don't really recall.
Oh, yeah, you fainted.
Those of us with a higher aesthetic are more sensitive to violence.
So you curated the exhibition? What's it about?
A brilliant retrospective. A dialectical window on European art's ongoing discourse with the unresolved psychoses of the nation-state.
Wow, you took the words right out of my mouth. So, you help run this place? Maybe you can give me the code to that door.
The code to the office?
I just thought you might have the number.
I do, but I couldn't possibly give you access before the police arrive.
I figured I wasn't going to get the door code from Lane by playing nice. I needed to turn the heat up. Mr. Lane, you're really going to have to give me the code to that door.
And why, pray, should I do that?
Because the way the cops will see it, you're the prime suspect. We both know you're innocent, Mr. Lane, but the cops, well, they may not see things so simply. I might be able to get them off your case, but in exchange, I'd like the code for the office door.
But that's preposterous. The police would have neither evidence nor motive.
Funny you should mention that. Someone sabotaged the alarm on the stolen painting. A wire was cut.
What? Who could have got into the alarm system?
Exactly. It was an inside job, Mr. Lane.
You're not suggesting that I...
Well, I'm afraid that's the way the cops are going to see it.
That's preposterous. How could I possibly have cut the wire?
An unusual painting turns up at your exhibition and gets stolen. Doesn't look good, does it?
And your point is?
The cops are going to ask some awkward questions. But you give me the code to the CCTV room, and I'll do my best to point them elsewhere.
I cannot let you into that room, Mr. Stobart. Besides, Henri found La Malediccio, not me. I had nothing to do with it.
This is an inside job for sure, Mr. Lane. The police are going to be very interested in your recent movements.
I've been out of town for several days, and last night I retired early.
Just saying.
You're not going to scare me into giving you that door code, you know.
I was onto something here, and I knew it. Lane was sweating. It wasn't pretty. Don't suppose you've changed your mind about giving me that door code?
Certainly not. Give me one good reason why I should.
I might just do that, Mr. Lane. I hate to say this, Mr. Lane, but you're going to be the #1 suspect for this murder.
So you keep saying, Mr. Stobart.
Are these your nail clippers, Mr. Lane?
Yes, they have my initials monogrammed on them.
Huh. The perfect implement for cutting the alarm on the stolen painting.
What are you saying?
Well, the alarm was sabotaged, Mr. Lane. It was an inside job.
Are you accusing me? How dare you? I had no reason to kill Henri, no motive whatsoever.
Okay, but I don't think the cops will see it like that. And I sure would like that door code. The street was quiet and upmarket. Not the kind of place for an opportunist thief. The waiter wasn't exactly run off his feet. Excuse me.
Monsieur?
There's just been a robbery at the gallery.
Oh, really?
You don't sound surprised.
All property is theft, monsieur. And all art is property. Therefore, all art is theft. Do you not agree?
Well, when you put it like that, it's hard not to. What do you know about Le Lézard Bleu?
It's bourgeois, vacuous, and overpriced. Just like its curator Lane. He's always in here, you know, talking art to his latest flusier.
The gallery owner, Henri, was shot dead trying to stop the robbery.
Life has no meaning the moment you lose the illusion of being eternal.
Right. Did you know him well?
Can we ever truly know another human being, monsieur? He spent little time at the café, unlike his friend, Monsieur Lane.
What do you know about Hector Lane?
Lane? Oh, yes. He drinks here sometimes. He slid away last night without paying.
Last night? What sort of time?
After midnight, for sure. If you see him, give him this bill, and tell him to pay up next time.
The check was from last night, but Lane told me he was nowhere near the gallery. This could be the leverage I needed to get the office door code from Lane. Thank you for your consistent indifference, monsieur.
Perhaps next time you come, I will give you a coffee. Perhaps not.
Take a look at this.
What of it?
It's your bill from the cafe next door.
So?
It's dated yesterday. Last night, in fact. 12:30 to be exact. You said you were out of town. You sure drank a lot of champagne last night without paying the bill. But you told me that you were away from Paris last night. I hate to say it, but that sounds like a lie to me. Tell you what, you give me the code to the door, and the police need never know. A motive and proof of involvement. Not looking good, Mr. Lane.
You are a blackmailer, Stobart.
Just doing my job.
All right. You have me. The number is 6397. But I admit to none of these spurious accusations.
I had the code. The police would be here any moment, so I had to work fast. What was that number again? 642... No.
Everyone, hold it right there.
Damn it.
I am Inspector Navet of the Paris Serious Crime Squad, and I hereby declare this crime scene open. Closed. Now, nobody move, especially you on the floor. Mo, I want a total lockdown. Nobody in or out. Apart from me, of course.
I needed to get back into the gallery, but a familiar figure was guarding the door. It was Sergeant Mou. Our paths had crossed before. My smartphone, possibly the journalist's most important tool. My press card. It opened some doors, but not as many as I'd have liked. Sergeant Moo was blocking the entrance to the gallery. Moo was the kind of cop that got places through obedience, not intelligence. Sergeant Moo, we meet again.
Aha, Madame Koch, an unexpected pleasure.
I was in the gallery at the time of the theft. Can I get back in?
I am sorry, but I am under strict orders from Inspector Navet. Nobody in, nobody out. And I must correct you, madame. It is no longer just a theft. It is a murder.
Mon Dieu! That poor man! I witnessed the crime. I've got to get back in there.
I'm sure you can make an official statement in good time.
I saw the thief. I think I can help the investigation.
I am implacable, Madame Koch.
Who is Inspector Navet?
The most promising young investigator on the force. A genius, a man blessed with almost superhuman insight.
He sounds highly perspicacious.
Madame, it is not for us to talk about the inspector's sweaty proclivities. He is about to solve his third case in as many days.
So, what's he got that the other investigators don't have?
Blood spatter. He is the world expert. He reads the entrails of the crime scene like a book.
I really need to get into the gallery and speak to Inspector Navet.
Tut. He is not to be disturbed. He is applying his famous scientific methods. Any moment now, the case will be cracked. I certainly hope so. I am dog-tired and want to go home.
I chased after the shooter and got a photo of him.
Inspector Navet will be delighted.
You've got to let me into the gallery to show him.
Absolutely not.
So, I cannot go in without Inspector Navet's permission?
No.
And to get Inspector Navet's permission, I need to go in.
Exactement.
Have you ever heard of Kafka, Sergeant Moo?
Madame Koch, I do not see what soccer players have to do with this.
No, he's a... Never mind. This was madness. Sergeant Moo wasn't going to let me in. Why are you so tired, Sergeant Moo?
I have been working for 3 days with no rest. Navet is a genius in his field, and he assumes that we all have his energy and vigor.
Oh, you poor man. If you'd like to go and get some sleep, I will watch the door for you.
That's very thoughtful of you. Ha! A cunning attempt to make me a deserter, madame. A gendarme never leaves his post.
Well, how about a hot drink?
Ah, that would do the trick for sure. Unfortunately, I mustn't drink on duty. My doctor specifically warned me against it after the last... incident.
That incident you mentioned, what happened exactly?
I don't want to talk about it. All I can say is it was very unfortunate. I am on duty, and I need to focus.
Here's my press card. Do you have a statement for the paper?
Yes, madame. Stay away from the crime scene and let the police do their job. And always leave a light on when you go out at night.
Thanks a lot, Sergeant Moo. You've been so helpful. The body was still in there. I had to get back inside.
Madame,
Bonjour, monsieur.
whatever it is you want, we are closed.
Then why are you standing here?
You would not understand, madame.
Try me.
Because I look at you, and I know you are like all the others.
The others?
The pretty women who shop, who gossip, who have their spa days, their almond croissant.
That bad, huh?
And the men with their grooming products and their shiny shoes and their skinny suits who come to my cafe and ask me for lattes, macchiatos, frappes.
I see your point.
Is this what we fought on the barricades for, madame? Ripped up the paving slabs, bled on the streets.
Isn't it?
No, madame, it is not. We fought for ideas, for philosophy, for freedom, equality, fraternity.
Vive la révolution.
And do you know what drove us on as we fought? What fueled the streets of Paris in that glorious spring? What made our hearts soar?
Cheap wine and free sex?
No, madame, no! It was French Café Noir that inspired us. The simple demi-tasse. The black, sweet taste of freedom.
So that's why you closed?
Yes, madame. I serve only thinkers, philosophers, revolutionaries. And you, madame, with your polite top and your pointy ears, are none of those things.
This is a cafe.
Yes, to the right people.
On any other day, I would have given this guy a straight one to the chin. But there was a chance he could help me get into the gallery. Monsieur.
Life is fleeting, madame. The sands of time are running through your fingers.
Well, that may be, but...
We know not what we want, and yet we are responsible for what we are.
There's been a crime.
That is terrible, madame. But you know what they say.
No, but I think you're going to tell me.
Life begins on the other side of despair. C'est vrai, no?
Well, I guess so. He was pushing me to the point of despair.
During the riots, we battled the forces of oppression.
Oh, really? That must have been terrifying.
It was, except that they made me stay behind the barricades with the other baristas. We made coffee by the liter to fuel the resistance. I've never brewed so much coffee. Of course, our brave heroes spent half their time going for a pee. But with our coffee inside them, they fought the running dogs all night long.
None of this was helping me get past Saint-Jean-Mou.
Au revoir.
Here's my press card.
La liberté. Madame, you are not the person that I took you to be. You must accept my deepest, my most profound apologies.
Well, of course I accept. But why?
La Liberté, the great journal of freedom. At the height of the battle, as the tear gas blew and the blood flowed, it was La Liberté which carried the voice of our revolution to the world. I know now that you are not the kind of woman who would ask me for almond croissant. You are a true daughter of France, and I am your humble servant.
Monsieur.
The road to enlightenment is a long one, madame. Perhaps you will walk that road with me?
Could we have a little chat?
Any time, madame.
Did you see anything happen at the gallery earlier?
I saw you running after a pizza delivery guy. Somebody said he killed someone.
That's true. He stole a painting and shot the gallery owner.
How close we are to death. And yet how far from ever comprehending it.
Well, right now I need to get back inside and figure out what happened.
I applaud you, madame. To seek the truth is a worthy ambition.
As a journalist, that is my duty. How about some coffee?
For you, madame, of course. There is only one coffee that I can serve you. Black, strong, and in a tiny cup. One moment. Here is your coffee, madame.
Thank you, monsieur. The coffee was hot and strong. Would you make me a coffee to go?
For a fellow revolutionary? Of course, madame. One moment. Here's your takeaway coffee, madame.
Thank you, monsieur. As always, Paris looked beautiful. Sergeant Moo, I brought you a coffee.
Coffee? Fantastic. Just what I need. But wait. I must not. My little problem.
I'm sure one little cup of coffee won't hurt.
I'm tempted, madame, but I cannot risk it. I am sorry.
So, this incident, it involved you, some coffee, and your little problem?
It is a tale of woe, madame.
I'm all ears, Sergeant.
Well, since you seem quite understanding, I shall elaborate.
Please do.
I was in charge of canine security for the President himself. One day, en vacances, he went for a private discussion with a lady minister. I stayed alone with his dog, but I had drunk a coffee to stay awake, and nature came to call. So I tied the dog to a tree and went for a secret pee-pee. When I came back, the dog was having a liaison dangereuse with the lady minister's terrier.
But how did they find out?
Well, 2 months later, the President's Labrador gave birth to 6 beautiful mongrels. And I was busted to sergeant just after the President's divorce came through.
You are a victim of a great injustice, Sergeant.
You think so?
But of course. You knew you must not fall asleep at your post. You were guarding the President himself.
Well, the President's dog.
Ah, it was the same thing.
Yes, I suppose.
And by drinking that coffee, you made the ultimate sacrifice for our glorious republic, your career.
Now you put it like that?
And now France is calling you again. She is saying, drink, Sergeant Moo, drink!
She is?
She is. Drink or fall asleep at your post. Which is it to be?
I suppose it is drink?
Bravo, Sergeant!
Oh dear. Oh dear. Excuse me, madame. I must use the petit gendarme's room. It has gone straight through me. Could you watch the gallery door for me?
Oh, you can count on me, Sergeant. I distracted Moo. It was now or never.
How did you get past Sergeant Moo? Well, you won't fool me so easily, madame. I shall question you later.
Nico, am I glad to see you.
I managed to grab a couple of photos, but the guy got away.
Poor Henri is dead.
I know. Why kill him?
I've been trying to find out. Turns out the alarm was tampered with. It looks to me like an inside job.
So, no ordinary robbery?
And no ordinary painting. The priest claims that La Malediccio is evil. I need to get into the office and see what the CCTV has to offer.
So, what's the problem?
The inspector's watching me like a hawk. I'll never get in without some sort of distraction.
I'll see what I can do. Inspector Nave, I presumed. According to Moo, he was a CSI star, with a passion for blood spatter analysis. Inspector Nave, do you have a moment?
My time is of the essence. Be quick now.
I suppose this is quite a complex case, Inspector.
It is a robbery gone bad. Nothing more, nothing less.
Surely there's a bit more to it than that.
Please abstain from baseless conjecture, madame. The victim's body paints a simple picture, more reliable than any witness statement. Consider the impact of the bullet and note the concomitant lack of blood. A casual homicide, nothing more.
Don't you find it odd that the thief chose that one particular painting?
Life is full of odd things, madame. Fingerless gloves, white dog poo-poo, nasal hair. I prefer to concern myself with murder.
Did you see the alarm was sabotaged?
I have interrogated the crime scene, madame. I am fully aware of the disabled security. I prefer biological evidence to the merely circumstantial. Body parts, blood, important things.
Don't you think the disabled alarm is highly suspicious, though?
The forensic team will be along shortly. Voice your concerns to them. Do not bother me with this circumstantial fliff-flaff.
Why don't you check out the security camera footage?
Madame, that is not my area of expertise. It is the body which concerns me.
But the CCTV footage is evidence. It could help identify the killer.
Correction, madame. It is but an indicator. The only true evidence is bodily fluid. Unless you know something I don't, then please leave me be.
The only evidence Inspector Nave seemed to appreciate involved gore. What do you think about the American, Georges?
He is deeply suspicious.
Could you give me a statement, Inspector?
Now is not the time, madame.
Thanks, Inspector. I'll let you know if I remember anything else. If I was going to distract Nave, I needed to unearth new evidence or concoct some. And the bloodier, the better. There was a pizza box on the floor. The tomato sauce had splattered onto the floorboards. The tomato sauce had splattered on the floor. I spread some of this sauce around with my shoe. It looked a little bit like a blood stain, but it still wasn't right. If I was going to distract the cop, I had to get rid of that gum. It was a blob of chewing gum, probably carried in on somebody's shoe. No way was I going to clean that up with my bare hands. I scraped up the chewing gum with my press card, hoping the inspector wouldn't notice. Inspector!
Yes?
Have you seen the stain on the floor over there? It looks like blood.
Indeed. How very curious. I must investigate immediately, before one of these idiots steps in it. Interesting. Maybe it is time to employ the machine.
Okay, George, that should distract him for a while.
Nice work, Nico. I'll let you know what I find in the office. I was sure the inspector hadn't seen me slip away, but I needed to be quick, because it wouldn't take him long.
At last, Stobart.
Sorry, Mr. Rickenbacker. I've been busy.
Yeah, I damn well hope so. I'm watching the news.
Oh, anything interesting?
Yeah, someone stole a painting.
Oh, really?
And it was one you insured. What's going on?
Ah, yes. Well, the guy was armed, sir.
So?
You think I should have thrown myself in front of the thief, wrestled him to the ground, got myself shot?
Sure would have made me feel better. Anyway, find that painting, or give me a good reason not to pay out. Please tell me that you have some leads.
I'm working on it. It was an antiquated CCTV system. The CCTV system was ancient. It took individual shots and recorded them to tape. It looked like I needed to enter a passcode to view the recording. I needed to find a 4-digit number. The poster advertised the 1975 Stockholm Music Festival, headlined by a group called the Hairy Lobsters. It was a hookah pipe. Those things gave me a headache. The telephone was an antique rotary model. The handset looked greasy. Henri'S notice board was covered with all kinds of junk. Henri had a model of a VW camper van painted in hippie colors. The engine capacity was displayed on the back, 1600 cc. Henri sure liked his clutter. The phone was vintage. calendar looked like a child's school project. Henri had ringed 27th May and scrawled birthday. Poor guy hadn't quite made it to his big day. The desk was covered in junk. It was a reel of fragile tape. I didn't want to carry the tape around. I had a feeling I wasn't going to need it. There was a box of thumbtacks on the desk. I didn't like the idea of a pocket full of sharp pins. It was a standard drawer. There was a document folder in the drawer. There was nothing else in the drawer. The folder looked interesting. This was very definitely tampering with evidence. It was a completion of work notice from a company called VERA Security. They weren't the guys we'd recommended. Henri had gone behind our backs to choose a different security outfit. I'd never heard of VERA Security, but there was an address and phone number on the form. The completion note from VERA Security. There was an address. Bingo. I rewound the tape to before the robbery. This was the first interesting frame. It was Henri studying La Malédiction. He couldn't have had any idea what was about to happen. Was Henri studying that picture, or did he look worried? There was definitely more to this robbery than I first thought. The image was a little fuzzy, but in the center of the painting was what looked like a snake eating its own tail. I thought about what the priest said. There was definitely something unsettling about the picture. That was the earliest shot with anything interesting on it. Nico and I were taking a look at La Malédiction just before the robbery. Funny, the painting didn't strike me as remarkable at the time, just odd. A good view of La Malédiction. I could kind of see why Father Simeon thought it was evil. There was a certain presence about it. The most striking aspect of the painting was a snake eating its own tail. The killer caught in the act. There was nothing really distinctive about him. The CCTV had caught the killer in the act of lifting La Malédiction from the wall. He knew exactly which painting to take. He knew exactly which painting to take. The moment it all went horribly wrong. The most striking aspect of the painting was a snake eating its own tail. There was some writing on the front of his helmet, but I couldn't quite make it out. Why hadn't Henri backed down when the thief pulled the gun? If that was me, I'd have done whatever the guy wanted. The killer making his getaway. A logo on the front of his helmet read Waterloo Motors. That could be useful. The painting was gone. The alarm should have sounded when the killer took the painting, but it had been sabotaged. I wondered who could have done that. Maybe Lane, or even Henri himself. Or perhaps even VERA Security, who'd installed the system. There I was, taking a look at the alarm box. Hopefully I didn't look too suspicious. I hadn't thought about that when I was taking a look at the camera. That was the last shot. I'd probably learned everything I could from the CCTV. It was a statue of Henri bearing almost everything. A strategically placed fig leaf protected his modesty. The statue was jaunty. Up close and personal, I could see that the fig leaf was hinged. The fig leaf had a small hinge on it. It looked like it could be lifted. Thankfully, there was no one around to see me do this. Very interesting. The secret compartment was open. There was no need to manhandle Henri any further. It was a sturdy-looking safe. I wasn't going to open the safe without the key. I was fairly sure that even Henri wouldn't be silly enough to keep it hidden in the office. There was a crumpled letter in the wastebasket. In the trash can, I found a crumpled letter from Henri's credit card company, demanding immediate payment. It listed extravagant purchases from a variety of ladies' fashion stores. The address indicated that Henri lived in the chic and expensive 16th arrondissement of Paris. I decided to put the letter back. Henri's financial problems weren't my business. But now I knew where he lived.
Monsieur, sir, you have snuck in here, and now you are tampering with my evidence.
I'm just looking for the name of the caterer. That cheese was to die for.
Ah, to die for? Or to kill for? I put it to you, monsieur. Monsieur
Stobart. George Stobart.
I put it to you that you came here in search of cheese and killed the owner in a fromage-induced frenzy.
Well, no. I'm from Paris Mutual. We insured the exhibition.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Time will tell, monsieur.
Truth will out, Inspector.
Who dares wins, Monsieur Stobart?
He who laughs last laughs loudest, Inspector Nave. The guy was seriously nuts.
May I remind you, monsieur, that a serious crime has been committed. I am going to have to ask you to return to the gallery.
Of course, but I do need to ask you a few questions.
D'accord. But remember, anything you say can be used against you, Monsieur Stobart.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind. Do you know anything about a company called VERA Security?
No, I have never heard of them. Now, I must get on with my investigation.
It's very likely that the security camera holds a clue to the killer's identity.
Monsieur, I am a professional, and you are an amateur. So, leave the investigating to me, huh, pal? Monsieur, you are American, no?
Yeah, California born and bred.
Of course. I think perhaps you are wanting to be like that Starsky and Butch, monsieur. No? Rolling around on top of fast cars with beautiful ladies, firing your gun.
Interesting idea, Inspector, but not really my style.
Indeed. Well, let me tell you something, monsieur. You are my prime suspect. You may go now, but I will need to speak with you again.
I had some valuable leads, but before following up on them, I had important business to attend to. Hey, Nico, you want to grab a quick cup of coffee?
Sure.
I am pleased to announce that I have finished my preliminary investigation. This is now an official crime scene, and you must all go. I shall be questioning all of you again in the coming days. Nobody is to leave the country, particularly you, Monsieur Stobart. Monsieur Lane will stay behind to help secure the premises. Mo?
Yes, Inspector.
Let them out.
Right away, sir.
Two coffees, please.
Nice work in there, Nico. Whatever you did, it worked.
I just made a tiny distraction, and Nave bought it.
I think Nave would buy anything if it had blood on it. You know, this whole setup, the theft, the murder, it just doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
Like I said, I think it was an inside job.
Go on.
Someone disabled the alarm, but on just one painting.
Let me guess. La Maledicción.
Exactly. And I aim to find out who did it. The CCTV picked up an image of the thief. His helmet had the words Waterloo Motors written across it.
Interesting. I think I got a couple of good shots of him too, but I need to take a better look at them at home.
Great. Let me know what you find. Well, the priest thinks La Maledicción is evil.
Charles, she's just crazy.
Yeah, you're probably right. But there's something strange going on. I found the address of the security company Henri employed. It was not the one that I recommended.
Good luck with your investigations. Well, I guess I should go. This story won't write itself. And Georges?
Yeah?
It's good to see you again.
Great to see you too, Nico. I watched her walk away. The sound of traffic, the sun shining, a crime to solve, and Nico back in my life. The address led me to a dead-end alley at the end of a dead-beat mall. No wonder I'd never heard of VERA Security. The stall was a myriad of retro kitsch. Bottle stoppers, keychains, musical cards. The guy managed to look busy, even though he had no customers. Hi, I wonder if you can help me. I'm looking for VERA security.
Yes, of course. It's the shop behind you.
Thank you. The name's George, by the way.
Call me Bassam. And do please forgive me, but I'm in no mood to talk. I have a resounding headache.
Bad migraine, eh?
The worst. The buzzing and flashing from the old sign is killing me. I thought the neon sign had potential until it broke.
Is it your sign?
No, the previous owners. Used to be a restaurant. But this is horrible. Adversely affecting my footfall and giving me a splitting headache.
You want me to try fixing that sign for you?
Do you know what you're doing?
I'm very good at fixing things.
Then please do. I'm no good at electricals. Marketing analysis and predicting trends is more my thing.
I took a good look at the sign. The wiring was exposed and the cover broken. No wonder it was flashing. It was a loose wire. No wonder the sign was flashing. I pulled the wire off. Well, that was one way to stop the letters flashing. Now only half the sign was illuminated. Aha! That seemed like a good name. Hey, Bassam, how about this? I know it's not your name, but...
Aladdin. Very cool. That's a terrific name for my store. Hits every one of my USPs.
Glad you like it.
You're a genius, George. Let me know if I can do anything for you. Aha, Mr. Stobart. What can I do for you?
What do you think?
I'm over the moon, George. Thanks to you, I can now sell my retro cavalcade of musical cards, brushes, souvenirs. And you know what they say, happy sellers make happy shoppers.
So what are you selling?
Ah, I'm glad you asked. I sell all those things you can't get anywhere else in Paris.
Like?
English biscuits, Turkish delight, French cassettes, Brazilian Betamax videos.
I really like your new sign.
It's magnificent. I owe you one. Ah! Help!
What's wrong?
There's a monster
What? Where?
on the floor. Get rid of it.
Oh, the cockroach.
Yes, the cockroach. Help!
The ashtray was full of cigarette butts. The filters were gold-colored, very exotic. A crumpled cigarette pack. Romanov's, a Russian brand cigarette. The pack was empty. As a child, I'd always been told not to play with matches, but I never could resist. I tipped out the matches. I went to take a closer look. Come here, little fella. I couldn't catch it just by swiping at it. I'd need to entice it closer.
Aha, Mr. Stobart. What can I do for you?
Do you know anything about VERA's security over there?
Not really. I haven't been here long, but neither have they by the looks of it.
Why do you say that?
Rush setup, new sign, low investment, and no customers except for you.
So, what else are you selling?
Stop by now and then. You'll be surprised.
No kidding? Do you happen to know a good way to catch a cockroach?
To be honest, George, I'm better at questions on balancing budgets within a liberal economic framework. But as a layman, perhaps I could suggest you trap it? And please, whatever you do, don't squish it.
Why's that?
The entire family will catch the scent and arrive for the funeral.
Ooh, we don't want that.
You need to find a container of some sort. Then I think add this.
Rich tea. Well, what's that, a cookie?
The perfect cockroach biscuit. Dry, dull, unsatisfying, and yet curiously Moorish.
I'll give it a try.
Glad to help.
I'd made a great home for a little critter. I went to take a closer look. I needed to set the trap down somewhere and wait for my friend to make his move. I set down my clever trap. Now, all I had to do was wait. Gotcha!
You are a gentleman and no mistake. I hate cockroaches.
Always ready to help a damsel in distress.
I bet you are. Can I help you?
Yes, please. Do you know if there's anyone in the office I can talk business with?
Yes, me, chérie. I'm Annette, the manager.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... The gloves. I just thought...
Ah, easy mistake to make. If you haven't been reconstructed, that is.
Oh, but I have been reconstructed. A number of times. From the ground up. She might talk to me now.
What can I do for you?
There's been a theft at Le Lézard Bleu. A painting's been stolen.
Shame. Still, I'm sure you'll get over it.
I believe your company set up the security.
Oh, no, we didn't.
Oh, yes, you did.
Didn't.
Did.
I've got all day.
But I didn't. It says here that Vera was hired to do the security of the gallery. Didn't do a very good job, did you?
Where did you get that?
At the gallery.
That job was signed off. You can't say we were to blame.
I was getting a bad feeling. The place looked like a front, and the only person there wasn't helping. Maybe the office itself could give me more information.
Are you done? Only I want to listen to this next race.
Thanks. It looked like there was a back office through the door.
Please stay on the other side of the counter.
It was like she had some kind of psychic power. She could just feel what I was trying to do. It was a little black book, and they are always interesting.
Hands off, mister.
Can I just have a look?
Certainly not. That book is very private.
The office drawers. There might be something useful in there.
Look, do you mind not touching the office equipment?
Annette's peripheral vision was, quite simply, astounding. Annette had her radio on. Sounded like a horse race.
Do you mind? I'm listening to the race.
Annette was watching me like a hawk.
Hello, VERA Security. We make you secure. Wrong number again. Damn nuisance calls.
I wanted to see what secrets the book might contain. There was a photo. Of course, I grabbed it.
Yes?
Annette, could I just have a quick look in your back office?
What do you take me for?
What? No. I mean, can I look in there?
Oh, I see. No, you can't. It's private.
Are you betting on a horse?
No, I just like hearing the sound of hooves.
Oh, well, that's unusual.
Don't be an idiot. I got 50 euros on Lucky Break.
Ah, well, I hope you win.
So do I, chérie. So do I.
Recognize this?
Hey, that's my photo.
That's you with Lane, I believe.
So, what if it is?
What is he to you?
Oh, my Hector, that's what he is. My little Hector.
Yeah, I thought you said you had nothing to do with the gallery.
Look, here's how it is. I've only been here a few weeks. I had nothing to do with that gallery job. I just delivered the paperwork.
So, who's the manager before you?
I don't know. She just, one day, didn't come in for work. I shouldn't be talking to you. The boss told me to keep my mouth shut.
The boss. Have you got his number or address?
No, I've forgotten it. I mean, I never knew it.
Annette, a serious crime has been committed. You're in a lot of trouble.
I had nothing to do with it. Look, I need this job. I need the money. Anyway, it's only a silly old painting. No one got hurt.
The gallery owner was shot.
Badly?
Yeah, he's pretty dead.
Oh.
This is a murder investigation. Now, who's your boss?
I don't know. Honest, he faxes me if he wants anything.
He? Who's he?
I've never seen him, never met him. Don't make trouble for poor Annette.
Thanks. I was pretty sure Annette had told me all she was going to. She sounded scared. Time to put the thumbscrews on Lane, and I knew just how. Time to confront Lane. The gallery was sealed off. The place looked empty. Lane wasn't exactly easy to miss, and it looked like he wasn't around. Hi.
Monsieur?
I'm looking for Mr. Lane. Has he been here?
Ah, yes, monsieur. He came by earlier. Told me he was off to console Henri's widow. I hope she's out.
Hi.
Monsieur?
Do you recognize the woman in this photo?
She was here the other night with Lane. They sneaked away to the gallery together, without paying their bill.
My suspicions of Lane were mounting, but I didn't really think he had it in him. Hi.
Monsieur?
Are you sure Lane's gone to visit Henri's widow?
Yes, that's what he told me.
So Lane was consoling the widow. What a big heart that guy had. Did he have a grand scheme or just loose morals? Parisian spring fashion. Reminds me why I love this city. I recognize the name Sasha from the charges listed in Henri's credit card letter. Tony's Brasserie. Looked expensive. Paris sure had a lot of similar-looking cafes. The Bois de Boulogne was just across the road. The door to Henri's apartment. The door was locked. So this was Henri's place. Very smart.
Hello?
This is George Stobart. May I come up?
I'm sorry, this is a very inconvenient time. Come back later.
I know that's you, Mr. Lane. I need to talk to you. Mr. Lane, does the name Annette mean anything to you?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I need to talk to Madame Dubois.
I'm sure it can wait.
Mm-hmm. If you don't let me in, I'll tell the police about your interesting connection to the security company.
All right then. Come up, but make it brief.
Dear Lord, George, you have the worst timing.
Is this a bad time to accuse you of lying?
What do you want?
I've just come from VERA's security.
So?
What do you know about the owner of VERA's security?
I've never had the pleasure.
Tell me about Annette.
Who?
From VERA Security.
I don't know any Annette.
I'm surprised you let your conquests keep souvenirs.
Where did you get that?
Annette lent it to me.
Quit waving it around, for God's sake.
Can you tell me anything about the owner of VERA?
Annette told me he's some angry-looking Russian chap.
Come on, Lane. Tell me about Annette.
All right. I had a fling with her, okay? Now keep your voice down, please.
And you two fixed the security for the robbery?
No, nothing like that. Anyway, the fling was a mistake. She turned out to be rather needy.
I believe you. You're not a criminal, just a lecherous old man.
Less of the old, if you don't mind. As it happens, I make a lot of women happy.
Especially when you leave them. Okay, Lane, take off.
You can't tell me what to do.
You want me to show Bijou this picture?
All right, I'm going. You haven't heard the last of me, Stobart.
Promise?
And give me that photo.
If Lane was telling the truth, that meant that Annette was lying. She said she'd never met the owner and was very keen to get rid of me. I wondered if she was hiding something interesting in that back office.
Are you going to introduce yourself properly?
Pleased to make your acquaintance, madame. My name's George Stobart.
Call me Bijou.
Bijou didn't look too distressed.
Hello, young man. Such a delight to have a new visitor. What can I do for you?
I'm from the insurance company. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Henri, my poor sauvage. He died in his prime.
Could I just ask you a few questions?
Well, why not? A little company might just pep me up, as you Americans might say.
Henri was very brave at the gallery. He tried to stop the thief and paid the ultimate price.
Henri was my lion and my little pussycat.
How are you coping?
I'm still trying to take it in, chérie.
Can you tell me about the gallery? Was the business doing well?
The gallery was Henri's baby. He never spoke to me about it.
So you weren't involved?
Not at all. Business is not my thing.
Your record player seems to be stuck on the same song.
Yes, this song gives me great comfort. It reminds me of Henri.
Bijou, I think someone involved with the gallery helped the thief. It wasn't Hector Lane. He's not devious enough.
But who else?
I don't know. But I will get to the bottom of it, I promise you. Thank you for your help, Bijou.
My pleasure, young man. Do come back any time.
Bijou appeared to know nothing. I still couldn't discount Lane. Annette, on the other hand, had lied about Vera's security's owner. The artist was entering his cubist phase. Two lovers entwined. Reminded me of that party game with the map. A small stuffed dog sat on the table. Poor creature. Was that a tear in its glassy eye? Henri was now dressed in a cheap suit. On balance, I preferred the waistcoat. The stereo was playing the same tune over and over again. You have a beautiful home, Bijou.
Oh, thank you. I do like beautiful things.
A subtle birthmark was the only blemish on the model's flawless skin. The subject looked vulnerable as she clasped her knees. The subject stared casually out at the world. I've always loved antique music boxes. I wondered what it would play.
Please don't touch my things. Chérie, please don't touch my table. I keep everything in perfect order.
The view through to the Bois de Boulogne was stunning. America is my country, and Paris is my hometown. Can I ask you a few questions?
Truth or dare?
Truth.
And there was I hoping you'd say dare.
Henri looks very peaceful.
Doesn't he? I wish I could keep him here forever.
He was taken before his time.
He had so much more to give.
Anything else you can tell me about the gallery?
No, I rarely went there. As I said, Henri took care of everything.
What's the song called?
Jasmine, by the Airy Lobsters. Before your time, I'm sure. It's a band that Henri fronted in the 70s. They got to number 2 in the Swedish charts.
Big time, huh? Is that a painting of you?
Yes, darling. Though obviously he got my hips completely wrong.
Who painted it?
Oh, some acquaintance of Henri's. I don't recall his name.
What's the story behind the stuffed dog?
Oh, Fifi. I was heartbroken when she went. I had her preserved so that we could be together forever.
That's very touching.
isn't it?
Quite unusual these days to bring the coffin home.
Henri loved a good wake. Said they were better than any party.
Huh. Thank you for your help, Bijou.
My pleasure, young man. Do come back any time.
Night was falling. Annette would have left for the evening. It was time to pay a visit to VERA security. The empty mall was lit by bright moonlight, the perfect ambiance for a little detective work. I wanted a good look at that back office. I just had to find a way in. The empty box had been left out overnight, and no one would have wanted to steal it. Rearranging the sign had been a stroke of genius, even if I do say so myself. It looked like a very sturdy shutter. I'd have to operate the controls to open it. There was no way I could force the shutter open with my bare hands. I needed to find another way. It was the shutter control. There was no sign of a button or a keyhole. It must have been controlled remotely. A wire ran up to the electrical box above. I wondered if the electrical box contained the power unit for the shutters. There was an electrical box up there, but I couldn't reach it from the ground. The cast iron girder spanned the alleyway. I knew that if I could get to the girder, I could reach the electrical box. Inside was an aircon unit and, bingo, the master controls for the shutters. The aircon blade was exposed. It was the power supply. A small switch. It was the master controller for the shutters. It was the motor that operated the shutters. That was close. The wire was live. a small piece of wire. In the drawer was a single Q-tip. It was my lucky day. It hadn't been used. The room was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. In the corner of the room was a pizza delivery scooter, just like the one the killer had escaped on. It was a pizza delivery scooter. It was a pizza delivery scooter. The letter was partially shredded. There was a letter jammed in the shredder. The shredder was jammed. I tried to free the gears, but they were jammed solid. Its service was long overdue. Oil had dripped from the scooter onto the floor. I smeared some oil onto the cotton bud. I smeared the gears with oil. I reckoned the oil would do the trick. It was time to see what was in the letter. I grabbed the paperclip. It was the letter from Henri confirming that Vera Security had the contract for the exhibition. And it also revealed who was in charge at Vera. A guy called Medosky. At first glance, it all seemed pretty run-of-the-mill. But why was Henri thanking Medosky for being generous? And why was he pleased to represent him? Maybe Medosky was the owner we'd been looking for. It didn't add up. I had a gut feeling. There was something fishy going on. The box was empty. Annette had cleared everything out. Just mess and empty boxes. Through the grill, I could see something glinting, but it was too dark to tell what it was. The air vent had a tiny catch on the side. The paperclip was perfect for the job. There was definitely something in there. Now, what are you? Gotcha. Well, would you believe it? It was a gun. And very likely the one that had been used to shoot Henri.
Aha! So, what have we here? L'Américain, Monsieur Stobart. You will rue the day you crossed my path, because now you are caught in my net like a little red herring.
Inspector, I'm investigating the robbery.
No, monsieur. You are breaking and entering an innocent storeroom.
I found the murder weapon.
Found? No. Planted? Yes. Moo, arrest this man and take him to the station. I shall squeeze you, Monsieur Stobart, until your pips squeak.
Thanks, Ronnie. I just wish I'd got some better shots of the killer.
Are you kidding? That stuff from the hip, very dramatic. You did good, Nico.
So, what's next?
Get me an interview with the owner, and you've got Sunday's front page.
I'm on it already.
Keep me up to speed. Let me know before you write anything up, okay?
Of course. Oh, gotta go. Someone at the door. Monsieur?
Are you Nicole Collard?
Yes, can I help you?
I need to sit down.
You'd better come in. The old man was out of breath. Would you like a glass of wine?
Yes, those stairs are a nightmare. That's better.
So, what can I do for you, monsieur?
My name is Tiago Marquez. I saw your report on the robbery. I found your address. I came straight away. I needed to see you.
And why is that?
The stolen painting, La Malédiction. It belongs to me.
Ronnie had wanted me to interview the owner, and now here he was. Or rather, he was somebody who claimed to be the owner. So the stolen painting is yours. Tell me more.
La Maledicció belonged to my family in Catalonia in the 30s, before the Civil War.
So what was it doing here in Paris?
The fascists stole it in 1938. They killed my father, but not me. I escaped. I have been looking for it ever since. You have to help me find it.
Tell me about yourself.
I am Tiago Marquez, the rightful owner of La Maledicció. What else is there to tell?
You traveled all the way from Catalonia?
No, since the war, I've lived in France, in the southwest. And now I want the painting back.
Did you lose all your family in the Civil War?
When they came for us in 38, I fled with my mother. But my father was not so lucky.
I'm sorry.
I would have stayed and fought for freedom, but I was just a boy.
You've got my attention, but if I'm to help you, I need more to go on.
I have something. This old photograph. It is of me and my family. See the painting above the fireplace?
Yes, it's La Maledicció. The photograph suddenly appeared to link the old man to the painting.
You took the photographs at that robbery, huh?
I did, yes.
I need to see them.
Why?
Please, I must see them.
All right. Here they are. This one was rejected. George got in the way. Typical.
Who is this George?
Just a friend. He insured the painting.
So, he will know who is this liar who claims to own my painting.
I don't think he does. He would have told me. In front of George is Henri, the gallery owner. This is the best shot I took. They used it in the paper.
Yes, it is how I recognize La Maledicció, my painting.
It does look like the one in your photograph.
So close, but now it is lost again.
So you are certain that this is the same painting?
Of course, I do not make mistakes.
Here's the thief making off with the painting.
What is that tattoo on his arm?
Looks like a skull and crossbones. Headhunters,
You will find him, and then you will find my painting.
I can try, monsieur.
You must, mademoiselle.
That tattoo is really quite distinctive.
Yes, but that is all there is to go on.
This shot didn't come out too well.
It's perfect.
Perfect?
Finally, La Maledicció in all its splendor. The lines, the color, the detail. It's been so long since I've seen it.
Then take it. That shot is no good to me.
Really? Thank you, mademoiselle.
Marquez's story was very interesting, but I needed to corroborate it. I wondered if the gallery kept ownership records. And while I didn't wholly trust him, this was the one lead that I didn't want to lose. Where are you staying?
What? Nowhere. Here, perhaps.
I didn't want him to stay in my apartment. There was another solution. My neighbor is out of town for a few days. You could stay there.
Yes, that would be good. Thank you.
Great. Let's go. Adam said that he would leave the spare key under the mat. My neighbor had gone to a coin convention somewhere. His apartment was empty. The door was locked, but my neighbor always left a key under the mat. It was just a doormat. My neighbor had left a key for me under the doormat, which reminded me I hadn't watered his plants for a week. The key wasn't there. There was a large gap between the floorboards. The gap was wide, but not wide enough for my fingers. Using the sticky chewing gum, I was able to fish out the key.
This will do.
Glad it's up to standard. I have to go out, monsieur. Ronnie had promised me the front page if I got an interview with the painting's owner. And here was a crazy Spaniard claiming to be just that. I needed to find out who had put the painting up for sale. Maybe there was more to find at the gallery. Len was sitting outside the cafe. He looked dazed. Hello, Monsieur Len.
Ah, the delectable Nicole Collard, super sleuth. How may I be of service?
I was hoping I'd find you here.
Always available for a lovely lady such as yourself.
Henri's death, it must be so very hard for you.
Yes, I shall miss him deeply. We had such a very special relationship. The loss is so hard to endure, even for a man of such inner strength as myself.
What do you know about the owner of La Malédiction?
That was Henri's business. He found the painting and did the deal with the owner.
Would anybody else know anything about the owner?
Not likely. He kept especially quiet about that one. But he always kept a manifest for every exhibition.
I'm writing a follow-up piece on the gallery theft.
Ah, so you need an inside view. Authoritative.
Something like that.
The police have finished in the gallery. We could chat in the office. It's much more comfortable. More intimate. I might even be able to rustle up a little bottle of champagne.
Maybe later. I have some things to do first.
Maybe next time, then.
You mentioned a manifest. How would one get a look at that?
One might start in the office. That's where Henri kept most of his paperwork.
About the gallery.
Of course, my dear. We can go there now, if you would like.
That sounds great.
We can discuss my ordeal over a glass of champagne.
A cozy chat with Lane was the last thing I wanted. But it was my best hope if I wanted to get a look around the office. So, what are we waiting for?
After you, my dear.
The place was heaving with junk. Finding what I wanted wouldn't be easy. As Lane sat down, something stuck out from beneath the cushion. It looked like a folder. Whatever it was, the police had missed it. I needed to get it.
Come, join me on the couch. I'm ready for you. You will be gentle with me, won't you?
Oh, I'm never gentle, Monsieur Lane.
Oh, do call me Hector.
Lane hadn't noticed the folder. With that amount of padding, who would? The only way to get hold of it was to distract him. Monsieur Lane?
Hector, please.
So you really don't know who owns this up?
I'm sorry, my dear, I really don't.
I see Henri had a statue of himself.
Yes, for a man of high aspiration, he had alarmingly low taste. Nevertheless, I shall miss him. We were like family.
What will happen to this place now?
Henri's widow will decide, poor soul. She may find it in her heart to keep me around.
Oh, I'm sure she will. Is there anything you can tell me about the painting?
It was an absolute treat to come across it. A true undiscovered gem.
There's no denying it is a fantastic painting. What can you tell me about the religious significance?
Of course, there is a deep religious symbolism locked within the painting, too. Central to this must be the pantheon of saints.
Oh, Hector. Perhaps I will join you in that glass of champagne.
But of course, champagne, nature's balm in troubled times.
To new friends.
To love. Oh, mon Dieu, that is so cold!
Oops, silly me. I am so sorry.
I'll have to dry this off. Don't you worry, my dear.
In the folder was a list of all the paintings in the exhibition. La Malediccio had to be there. It was. And next to it was the owner's name, Mr. Medosky. The police had obviously not spotted the folder. I put it back. I had what I needed for my story. Monsieur Lane, thanks for everything. But I think I hear my editor calling.
Ma chérie, no need to leave so soon. It's only a little spillage.
And I found out who claims to own La Malediccio. Some guy named Medosky. Sounds Russian, right?
Medosky, my God.
Who is he?
He's new on the oligarch block. Fresh into London from Russia, with ambition and a bloody reputation. Collard, this is way over your head. I'm gonna put a more experienced crime journalist on the story. I can't afford for you to get hurt.
Relax, Ronnie. This is my story. Leave it with me. Let's discuss it over lunch tomorrow.
Okay. But don't do anything more. See you tomorrow.
Ronnie didn't trust me on this story, but I wasn't going to let him give it to someone else. I was going to have to move fast. Come in. Hi, Georges. Great to see you.
Hope you don't mind me just dropping in.
No, not at all. How are you getting on?
Pretty good. I found the gun that was used in the robbery.
I'm impressed.
Yeah? Well, Nave wasn't. He accused me of trying to plant it, and then of being involved in Henri's death. Then he threw me into a cell. He couldn't make a stick, of course, so he had to let me go this morning. But he's convinced I'm involved. So if I put a foot wrong, he'll nail me next time. But, hey, on the bright side, have I got a story for you. Annette, the manager at VERA Security, lied about the owner of the company. When I pieced together that shredded letter, I got a name, Medosky.
Medosky! That's the same guy who claims to own La Maledicción.
What? He owns the painting and VERA Security? He has to be the one behind this whole scam.
You're telling me? We have to be sure.
What the?
I cannot sleep on that bed. It is too soft.
Georges, this is Senor Marquez.
Nice to meet you.
So you are this George, huh?
Senor Marquez is staying in the apartment across the hall. Apparently, he's the real owner of La Maledicción.
What? I thought you said Medosky was the owner.
Senor Marquez claims the painting was stolen from his family during the Spanish Civil War.
Really? Do you have any proof?
Senor Marquez, could you show him the photograph?
A pair of statues stood on plinths on the mantelpiece. The statues were quite striking. The statues were quite striking. Who's this?
My mother, a good woman, a saint.
So your mother also died in the raid?
No, she got me out.
How can we prove this is you as a child?
The dates would tie up, Georges.
You're certain this is you?
Senor, I do not lie.
Who is this?
My father. When they came for us in 38, I fled with my mother. But my father was not so lucky.
You lost your father?
Yes. He died when the fascists attacked our villa.
Marquez's father wore a distinctive medallion around his neck. The old man claimed to be the child in the photo, but without proof, it was impossible to say for sure. That's definitely La Maledicción hanging on the wall?
It belonged to my family, so it belongs to me.
If the painting really was stolen during the 1930s, then this Medosky guy has no legitimate claim to it. But how can I be sure that you're the boy in that picture?
I can prove it. Look at my father in the photograph. You see the medallion he's wearing? He gave it to me just before he died. This medallion has been in our family for hundreds of years.
It's definitely the same medallion. A snake eating its own tail. And that's also on the painting.
It is the Ouroboros.
The what?
The Ouroboros. It is a sign of my people, my family, my faith. The Gnostics. My father was a Gnostic leader. La Maledicción is sacred to the Gnostics. Hence they both display the Ouroboros.
A priest I met said the painting was the devil's work, a thing of evil.
Ha! He would say that. Do not believe all you hear from the church. Whatever you think, the painting is mine.
If Marquez was the true owner of Malediccio, then Medosky had no legal claim to it. Might be tough to prove, but if I could, we wouldn't have to pay out on the insurance. So, if the painting belongs to you, how did Medosky get it?
The fascists stole it. It went to Madrid, then Berlin, then, after the war, to Moscow. After that, it was lost, until now.
We need to talk to this Medosky, but how do we find him? Hey, Nico?
Yes, George?
What do we know about this Medosky character?
Ronnie said he was dangerous and very rich. He claims to be the owner of La Malediccio.
And appears to be the boss of VERA security who were supposed to protect it. Now that kind of figures. The best way to steal something is to get hired to look after it. But why steal a painting you already own?
We need to talk to this guy.
To do that, we need to find him. Why would somebody steal their own painting?
Insurance scam? But then why kill Henri?
I get the impression that Henri was somehow involved. I found the gun that Henri was shot with at VERA security.
If Medosky owns VERA security, it means that he must know the killer.
Well, it can't be Annette, but she has to be involved in some way. So let's go over what we know about the thief.
Okay, well, he had a distinctive tattoo on one arm.
And his helmet had Waterloo Motors across it.
Not a lot to go on.
You said the thief had a tattoo.
On his arm, it was a skull and crossbones with headhunters written around it.
We need to track down Waterloo Motors.
Have you tried the internet?
I've been kind of busy.
Okay, let's have a look. Waterloo Station, Battle of Waterloo, Waterloo Kebabs, Waterloo Sunset. Ah, here we go. Waterloo Motors. It's a garage in London. I'll send the number to your phone.
Hello, Mr. Rickenbacker?
What now, Stobart?
I've got some interesting news to tell you.
Out with it.
I found a shredded letter that seems to implicate Henri and some guy named Medosky.
Well, that's one piece of good news.
I met a guy called Marquez who claims to be the original owner of the painting.
So, I could claim to own it too.
This guy has a photo of it from his childhood. He's also got a story about how it was stolen from him during the Spanish Civil War.
If that's the case, then the insurance would be invalidated.
That's what I thought.
So dig a little deeper into that story. Waterloo Motors.
Hi,
How can I help you?
my name is George Stobart. I'm investigating a murder that was committed here in Paris.
What's that got to do with us?
The guy we're looking for was wearing a helmet with Waterloo Motors on it.
Oh, yeah. It's a very popular helmet.
I don't suppose you know who might have bought one?
Well, not unless you've got any more information, mate.
The killer had a tattoo on his arm. It said, Headhunters.
Oh, I know that guy. Yeah, he bought one of our helmets just the other day.
Terrific. Do you know his name?
Nah. Briggs's boss's Merc here to have it serviced. Word to the wise though. I hear he don't mess about. The car's registered on Dutchy Street, if there's any help. I mean, that's all I know, mate, sorry.
No, that's more than enough. You've been a great help. Thanks for your time.
See ya.
Bingo!
Good work. That has to be the guy. And now we've got his address.
How about a trip to London?
I thought you'd never ask. Senor Marquez, will you be okay here?
The bed is uncomfortable. But it will do. Come back quickly. With the painting, eh?
London cabbies. Gotta love them.
This is the place. Here on the right. To afford a place like this in London, you've got to be good at something. So, we clear on how we're going to do this?
Yeah, we're two insurance investigators, see? We finagle our way inside, butter Medosky up, and then get the dirt on it, right?
Finagle?
Yeah, finagle. You remember how to finagle, don't you, Nico?
George, how could I ever forget?
Good, because I suspect we're gonna need major league fanoodling to get in this one.
You got it. The gate lock was controlled remotely. It's locked. It was the intercom system for MEDOSKY'S house. No answer. He had the typical features of an Englishman who liked beer and football. Excuse me? Hello?
On your bike, darling. This is a private residence.
We're here to see Mr. MEDOSKY.
So?
We have important business with Mr. MEDOSKY.
And who the hell might you be?
I'm Nico Callar, and this is my colleague, Georges Stobart.
Well, isn't that cozy? Can you count, darling?
Yes, of course.
Well then, 1, I don't know you or laughing boy here from Adam. 2, you ain't got no business round here. And 3, I don't like French birds. Comprenez?
Hi, guess who?
What do you want?
I don't suppose you know Mr. MEDOSKY'S driver, do you?
Maybe you didn't hear me the first time. Get lost.
Hi, guess who?
What do you want?
Do you work for Mr. MEDOSKY?
No, I'm standing here pruning his edges for a laugh. Course I blooming work for him. Look, will you stop asking all these blooming questions? Can't you see I'm busy?
It was topiary in progress. I never quite understood the appeal of novelty topiary. Hi, guess who?
What do you want?
Nice bush.
Bush? This is so much more than just a bush.
Oh, I am sorry.
It's art, love. Or to be precise, topiary. And as everybody knows,
Topiary is a transition form.
That's right. A statement of man's dominance over nature. A metaphor for the human condition.
And yet,
It's not enough, is it?
not for the big questions.
Life, death.
Right and wrong.
Tell me about it.
You struggle, monsieur?
Day and night.
That is the human condition.
Can we ever escape it?
It is possible through meditation, contemplation.
I see.
It is our only salvation.
Well, you've given me food for thought, you have.
Anytime.
Much appreciated. At a difficult time.
You are welcome, monsieur.
So, anyway, this is my latest piece. What do you think?
It's a very nice eagle? A two-headed eagle.
Result. Get in there, my son. Yes, it's a Russian Imperial Eagle for the boss. You spotted it straight off. I owe you one, lady. You have got that rare quality. Real insight.
No, please. You have a rare talent. We have important business with Mr. Medosky.
I need a good reason to bother the boss with this. He's a busy man.
I understand, but I think he'll want to speak with us.
What makes what you have to say so important?
La Maledicción, a painting that belongs to him, has been stolen. If he wants his insurance claim processed quickly, then he'll want to speak with us. I think he might be annoyed if he finds out you never even told him we came around, right?
Okay, okay. Hang on, I'll phone him now. Yeah, Mr. Medosky? Yeah, French bird. Yeah. Yes, boss. Right, I will do. You've piqued the boss's interest. That isn't always a good thing. The gate should be open. I'll take you inside. Follow me, please. Mr. Medosky will be right with you, madame.
Well, we're in. Now what?
We'll make him think we're all set to pay out on the policy. See if we can get him to talk.
Welcome, welcome.
Good day, monsieur. My name is NICO'S, and this is my assistant, Georges Tabar.
You are here to discuss La Maledicción, yes?
Correct.
I am surprised to see you. My agreement with the gallery specified that my ownership should be kept in the strictest confidence. It would appear that agreement has been broken.
A man has been killed, monsieur.
An agreement is an agreement.
A life has been lost and a painting stolen, monsieur. We need to ask you a few questions.
Bravely put, Miss Collard. So be it. I will cooperate however I can.
How did you come into possession of La Maledicción?
I purchased it at auction.
We have reason to believe that the theft was an inside job.
Oh, that is terrible. The staff at the gallery were so pleasant to deal with, but such is human nature. I trust this won't delay the insurance claim.
I'm sure matters will be sorted out soon. Did you know Henri, the gallery owner?
Oh, purely on a professional basis. My restorer recommended his gallery to me.
Did you ever meet him personally?
No, only via email. I rarely fly. I'm carbon neutral, you know.
Very conscientious, monsieur.
Well, the planet won't save itself.
Do you have receipts for the painting?
Of course. I have already sent them to your office.
These things take time to process.
What is there to process? I own the painting. Someone stole it, and your company provided me with insurance. I am the victim here.
A state you share with the deceased, monsieur. What connection do you have to VERA security?
I've never heard of it.
There is strong evidence that ties you to VERA security.
Oh, you are beginning to sound like a policeman, madame.
We are merely doing our jobs, monsieur. We must leave no stone unturned.
I would leave this particular stone unturned, if I were you.
I'd rattled him, but I didn't want to push too hard. Of course. We will check our information again.
I would do that.
Your restorer, how does he fit into all this?
HOBBS? He did a little cleaning work on La Malediction, that's all. I think that's enough for now. When do you expect the claim to be paid out?
It will not be long, monsieur.
When exactly? Surely you can give me a date.
Monsieur Medovsky, I'm sure you...
Please excuse the interruption, sir.
What is it, Shears?
Hobbs is here.
Tell him I'm busy.
He mentioned the portfolio, sir.
For pity's sake, can he not just follow simple instructions? Please excuse me for a moment.
The gardener's called Shears?
Yeah, probably not what his mother christened him.
What a creep.
Very clever creep at that. We got nothing on him, and he knows it.
He just brushed off the VERA connection. We need something else to get under his skin. I could use Marquez as leverage.
Yeah, it's just one man's word against another.
So what else can we do?
Let's take a look around. Maybe there's something here we can use against him.
Good idea, George. You search, I'll keep watch at the window.
The inlaid box was studded with gems. Magnificent. It was a beautifully inlaid cigarette box. The catch seemed to be broken. The catch had snapped. Can you hear what they're saying?
Yes.
You should not have turned up here, Mr. Hobbs. I made it clear I would deliver the package later today.
I wanted to make sure it got to me all right. I've got a lot of work to do on it.
This is most inconvenient.
Medovsky's arguing with his visitor, HOBBS, about the portfolio.
That portfolio is important, I'm sure of it. Medosky had left the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. I picked up the business card. It read, Wilfred Hobbs, Fine Art Restoration. I made a note of the address. Then I put the card back where I'd found it. No point arousing Medovsky's suspicions. The note read, L. Serp drawings for you to check. W.H. Now we're cooking with gas. I wondered if the painting could be in the portfolio that Medosky had taken. Somebody had been careless with their small change. See a penny, pick it up, then all day you'll have good luck. A Russian imperial egg. It looked rather plain. It was a thank you note from a British politician. Medosky certainly had some dubious friends. It was a thank you note from a British politician. Medosky certainly had some dubious friends. Everything was in Cyrillic, except for a number. 1869. I suspected the medals weren't from the Moscow Debating Society. It seems our Medosky has friends in low places.
It's like my boss said, the guy wants to be a player.
Medosky in Libya. Happy days. What kind of guy hangs a picture of himself and Colonel Gaddafi on the wall?
The kind who will commit murder in order to steal their own painting.
It was a Russian privatization voucher. I wondered why Medosky displayed it so proudly. Locked. I could only hope that Medosky hid the key somewhere in the room. Russian novels. Medosky was clearly a big Tolstoy fan. Medosky had an extensive collection of management books. The 7 Secrets of Leadership, 2009. The Business Bonaparte, 1983. Office Eagle or Management Mouse, 1998. Leather-bound classics, bought by the yard, no doubt. I should have guessed. Keyboard was Cyrillic. A-S-D... G or F? I couldn't remember. I didn't know the symbols. If I'd been able to remember the layout of a U.S. keyboard, I might have been able to figure it out. By extraordinary good fortune, the coin I'd picked up was the perfect shape to flip open the broken catch. Fancy that. Romanovs. The same brand of cigarettes that were in the ashtray in Vera's security. An elaborate key in a small pouch. Keys are always useful. The study door's open now. Hear anything else interesting?
Hang on.
Listen, Hobbs, just take the portfolio and do your work. You are nervous, and I don't like that.
Understood. I have got a few questions, though.
I do not like questions either. Hurry up.
I noticed a couple of people arriving. Who were they? They look like coppers.
They were from the insurance company.
Has the...
Hobbs is going to head off with the portfolio. Whatever's in there is important. We need to stay with it.
I got Hobbs' address from his card. When we're done here, we should check it out.
Okay, Josh, but hurry. Medosky will be back soon.
I'm gonna check out the study.
Okay.
Wow, there must be millions of dollars worth of art on these walls. These paintings would have kept a critic enraptured for hours, but I didn't have time to dwell. The painting reminded me of my Aunt Maud. I'd never liked her. Medosky certainly loved art, or pretended to. Medosky had a truly impressive collection of paintings. 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 The drawer was open. My heart skipped a beat. But inside, I saw only a candy bar wrapper. The desk was magnificent. Filthy habit. Those two little holes were just waiting for me to put my fingers in them. I resisted the urge. The chair was fancy and probably more expensive than it looked. Large Cyrillic letters were carved into panels on the side of the desk. I should have guessed. Keyboard was Cyrillic. I didn't know the symbols. If I'd been able to remember the layout of a U.S. keyboard, I might have been able to figure it out. Medosky had left the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. Everything was in Cyrillic except for a number, 1869. Large Cyrillic letters were carved into panels on the side of the desk. A secret drawer popped open. I knew that publication date would be significant. At last, I was going to discover Medosky's secrets. It certainly wasn't Medosky's sock drawer.
Hey, Nico, come see this. I think we've struck gold.
Hang on, I'm coming.
Look, a letter from a guy called Gainan. His company, Wolfram, want to purchase La Malediction. They're offering way over the asking price.
Anything connecting Medosky to Vera?
Well, let's see. Here we go. A lease for Vera's security.
Aha! Then we have the proof we need.
Hang on, what's this? Expenses for a Mr. Shears. Waterloo Motors, 1 helmet. These are from Paris. Madame La Trex. Hotel Britannique. Pizza. Nico. Pizza. I think your friend Shears might just be Henri's killer.
George, what have we got ourselves into? I just heard the front door close. Medosky's coming. Put everything back in order, quick!
Right. He'll never suspect we just ransacked his house for evidence.
George, the coin!
Damn, no time. Look cool, Nico. I'll handle this.
I apologize for the lengthy wait. As you can imagine, my time is at a premium.
That's fine, Mr. Medosky. I think we're almost finished anyway.
And payment?
Very soon, monsieur. Very soon.
Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Nice collection of medals you have there, Mr. Medosky.
I earned them serving my country.
Anywhere interesting?
Chechnya. Ever been there?
No, can't say I've had the pleasure. Is that a first edition of War and Peace?
Of course. Printed in 1869. A great year for my country's literature. And Tolstoy is the master.
Is that a picture of you with Colonel Gaddafi?
A deeply wonderful man. He was a great fan of the Impressionists.
Well, he certainly left quite an impression on Libya. So, what brought you into the art business, Mr. Medosky?
Oh, an eye for great artists, an appreciation of fine culture, and a love of what you Americans call the greenback.
You must be upset at the theft of La Malediction.
Yes, and disappointed that someone would kill for such a minor piece.
So this HOBBS guy, good friend of yours, is he?
No, we simply have a business arrangement. We've been through this already. Now please, if you're quite finished, I'm a busy man.
Thank you for your time, Monsieur Medosky. We'll be in touch soon.
Well, no prizes for guessing where we go now.
Hobbs' place, right?
Got it in one. Medosky's pretty shady, don't you think?
He bought our act, though. You make a pretty good insurance man, George.
Yeah, who'd have thought it?
By the time he realizes we're not assessing his claim, we'll have cracked the case and be toasting our success.
Here's hoping. Looks like rain.
Come on, let's get that cab. Taxi!
I think we just stepped off the London tourist trail.
I guess this Hobbs character doesn't like visitors.
Not the kind of place you'd expect to find a restorer of old masters.
Unless you didn't want to attract attention.
He's attracted ours. Let's see what Mr. Hobbs knows about La Maledicción.
And let's try and get a look inside that portfolio.
It was a thick metal security door. Hobbs clearly took his security seriously. I don't think there's anyone home.
There's a light on upstairs.
The mailbox read, W. Hobbs, Fine Art Restoration. There was a piece of paper sticking out of the mail slot. For a second, I debated the morality of mail snooping. It was a short debate, and I won. I decided to open the letter. Dear Mr. Hobbs, due to previous incidents, we are writing to inform you that we will no longer be sending models to your address. It went on to discuss Hobbs's temper and other alleged infractions, some of which still carry the death sentence in certain less sophisticated cultures. Interesting. This could come in useful. The drain pipe was more rust than iron. Climbing drain pipes was something I preferred to avoid, unless I had a great reason to do so. The large dumpster was full of garbage. Piles of junk, mostly boxes of old paints and scraps of picture frames. Mixed in were wires, cardboard, and some dubious-looking old clothes. George Stobart.
Ah, Monsieur Stobart. I trust you have obeyed my instructions not to leave Paris.
Of course, Inspector.
Good. You clearly know which side your cookie is buttered. Now, I require your presence tomorrow at the murder scene for a reconstruction.
I see.
12 o'clock sharp, monsieur. Or, as you would say, high noon.
Sure.
Any failure to comply, and I shall have you extraordinarily rendered. Have a nice day now.
And you. That was Nave. We're required back at the gallery tomorrow for a crime scene reconstruction.
Let me guess. Non-attendance is a criminal offense?
You got it. The van's window looked like it hadn't been washed for years. The door was locked. Looking through the window, I could see that there was nothing in the van. Hobbs must have taken the portfolio inside. There was a half-empty bottle of whiskey, or half full, depending on your attitude to life. Slosha. I decided to leave the handbrake alone. It was the horn. Not a sound. The horn wasn't working. It was the lever to open the hood. I popped open the van's hood. The engine was held together by rust and dirt. Everything was covered in a sticky film of dirty black oil. Half the wiring wasn't connected to anything. It was clear why the horn hadn't made a noise. Neither hornpipe was connected to either the battery or the cab. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. Many of the wires seemed to lead nowhere. It was the van's engine. I didn't really have any reason to sabotage it. It was the van battery. I needed to hook this up to the horn somehow. It was one of two horns in the van. It didn't seem to be connected to anything else under the hood. Two wires hung loose from it. A pile of paint, wire, and other junk. I had found just what I needed. 2 lengths of wire. The engine bay was a mess. I snipped the wire in half. There was already a wire connected to that terminal. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. The wire was just long enough to connect the battery to the horn. I connected the wires from the cab to the horn. Everything was wired up. The horn had power. I figured that should get Hobbs' attention.
All right, hold your blooming horses. What are you up to with my van?
Hello there. We fixed your horn.
So I hear. Now what are you doing in my yard?
Sorry to bother you again, Mr. Hobbs, but... Well, that could have gone better.
He's not exactly the friendliest of characters.
I decided to give it another blast.
For crying out loud, will you leave my van alone?
Sorry, just need a quick word, Mr. Hobbs. Mr. Hobbs, do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Yes.
Yes, you will answer a few questions?
Yes, I do mind. Clear?
Not really.
Good. Now get lost.
This Hobbs guy doesn't exactly like visitors.
There must be some angle we can use to talk our way inside.
I decided to give it another blast.
You two again? What is it this time?
Hello there. We'd like to discuss some restoration work with you.
Then make an appointment. I'm busy.
This is crazy. We need to get in there and take a look around.
We need a good cover story.
I decided to give it another blast.
What now?
Afternoon, Mr. Hobbs. We're from the model agency.
About blooming time. I'm on a deadline. You better come up.
About time you two showed up.
Hello, Mr. Hobbs. I was just wondering if...
Can it, Goldilocks? I don't have time for chit-chat. Just get undressed behind that screen.
Undressed?
That was the deal. An extra 20 quid because I need you with your kit off.
The studio was freezing.
And as for you, darling, no need to get undressed. I've got a vivid imagination, so I'll just use that. Either way, just go sit over there on that rug and give me your best Belle Epoque floozy. That's perfect. Just hold it there.
Nico made for a good distraction. I just needed to figure out how to get a look inside that portfolio.
My, if it isn't George Stobart.
Lady Piermont. Oh, my. You're...
Naked? Of course. As an artist's muse, one often finds oneself en pelotas. Now, George, don't be shy. Come here and give me a big hug.
That day was the day the nightmares had begun. Trapped, smothered, choking on lavender.
George, darling, pass me my robe. It's terribly cold in here.
Oi, what are you doing with a blooming robe on? God help me, but you're supposed to be naked. I've got a deadline to meet.
Well, you won't be meeting any deadlines with manners like that. And besides, it's freezing in here.
Lady Piermont and I had met before. She was larger than life, in every way. Lady Piermont.
Oh, George, be a darling and sort the heating out in here.
I'll see what I can do. The thermostat looked older than the building itself.
Hey! Leave that dial alone.
Sorry, but Lady Piermont is cold. I thought...
Look, pal, I know it's brass monkeys in here, but the wiring in this building is ancient, and the fuse box won't take it. Her Majesty will just have to get used to chapel hat pegs.
Lady Piermont, Mr. Hobbs won't let me turn up the heating.
Well, we'll soon see about that.
Oh, crumbs.
If you do not adjust the heating, I shall refuse to cooperate.
Lady Piermont, it's the circuits. They won't take the strain. You know what old buildings are like.
In which case, I see no reason for this session to continue.
Whoa, Lady Piermont, let's not be too hasty. I'm sure I can accommodate your needs.
Good. Perhaps you can start by letting George here turn up the heating.
Oh, go ahead then, but be careful. The power in here is temperamental.
I turned the thermostat up as far as it would go. I wondered if the suspicious wiring could be used to my advantage. Hobbs was the very picture of the booze-soaked artist. It was an empty whiskey glass. It was the same folder that Medosky had taken from his cupboard. It was the only lead to the painting we had. I needed to look inside, but Hobbs was watching it like a hawk.
How about a top-up, Mr. Hobbs?
Well, don't mind if I do.
Wow, an old Bofson Wang stereo. I hadn't seen one of those for years. The record had stopped. It was Jasmine Breeze by the Hairy Lobsters. I turned the volume up a few notches. A record was spinning on the turntable. It was locked. I wondered what was behind the door. It was the elevator control panel.
Oh, you. Get down from there. You'll trip the power in the whole building if you're not careful.
Blowing the power would certainly have distracted Hobbs, but the elevator alone wasn't going to trip the whole system. A word, if I may, Lady Piermont.
For you, George, I'm all ears. How can I help?
How did you come to be working with Mr. Hobbs?
Wheresoever a bohemian needs a helping hand, George, mine is always at the ready. And what better way to help than to expose one's flesh to the sensuous brushstrokes of such a talent?
Do you know anything about a stone painting called La Maledicción?
Oh, is this another of your adventures, George? How delicious. My heart's a tremor, George. Do you think Wilf is mixed up with this?
Maybe, but I need you to act normally until we're sure.
Mum's the word, Georgie.
Can you keep a secret, Lady Piermont?
I am the very soul of discretion, as you know.
You see that portfolio by Hobbs' table? We need to take a peek inside.
Be still, my beating heart. Just give me the nod and I'm putty in your hands.
So what have you been up to since our last encounter, Lady Piermont?
charity work, dear boy.
Oh, any particular kind?
Young men, George. So many have lost their way. I try to guide them best I can.
Lady Piermont, we need your help.
How thrilling! What do you need? Subterfuge? Legerdemain?
Actually, I just need you to step on that lift behind you.
Oh, but of course. Is this good, George, darling?
Perfect. Now, just stay right there.
Not again. There we go. Now, back to work. This is going to be one of those days.
A straw had broken the camel's back. Hobbs was very drunk. Now is my chance. Hobbs was good, but no way was he going to sketch me in the nude. More of Hobbs' sketches. The model looked familiar. Impressionist sketches. Well, it wasn't La Maledictio, but it did appear to be a study for an element of the painting, the Ouroboros. There was something different about the image in the center. I figured the sketch might come in handy, so I took it.
What the heck? I told you that portfolio was private.
Huh?
Well, that was fun. Just like when you were a private dick, George.
So, you're not models?
No, Mr. Hobbs.
Well, you can't be a copper. You're not stupid enough. So what the blazes are you doing in my studio?
We're investigating the theft of a painting, La Maledictio, by the Spanish artist El Serp. One of these sketches is a study of that painting.
Well, sure, but what's that got to do with that? I'm a restorer, and I restored it. I've got naught to do with what happened after that painting left this studio. How was I to know it was going to get Henri killed?
Hang on a second. How do you know Henri's dead?
Look, he and I went back a long way. The Lézard Bleu was on the ropes, so I got the painting into his exhibition. Nothing like this was supposed to happen.
We're not accusing you of anything, Mr. Hobbs. We just want to get to the bottom of this.
I get that, and I'll help you however I can, but this mess is way above my pay grade.
How come you needed to make so many sketches of the painting to restore it?
Restoration's not about throwing a load of paint around. It takes research. The Serp is a complicated painting. A lot of subtext, a lot of symbols.
Why would anyone want to steal La Maledictio? It's not exactly a famous painting.
True, but there is something special about it that's hard to describe. There's conviction in every brushstroke. Whoever El Serp was, he had a tale to tell. The symbolism is deeply religious.
We have reason to believe that Medosky is mixed up in the theft of La Melodic seal.
Eh? What would he gain from stealing his own painting?
We have strong evidence that Medosky is not the real owner.
You'll have a hard time proving that. Medosky has a full set of provenances for the painting. It traces its legitimate ownership all the way back to the painter.
Why didn't Medosky mention it?
Because they're not with him. Henri'S got them. Or had them.
And Henri is dead.
So ask his partner.
Lane?
Lane, yeah, Lane. Look, pal, you're wasting your time looking for conspiracies here. And you're wasting my time if you're not actually going to get naked. Go get the provenance from Lane, and everything will turn out hunky-dory.
But it also puts Marquez's story into question.
Not my problem, darling. Now both of you, get lost. I've got a painting to finish.
And we have a critic to interrogate.
Someone's lying, but who?
Is it the gangster or the old Spaniard?
The painter or the art critic?
I need to head back for Nave's reconstruction.
What about the evidence from Medosky's house? Will you give it to Nave?
I think I should. And I can put the squeeze on Lane. Ask him about the provenance.
Good. I've got lunch with Ronnie tomorrow. This story is hotting up, and I want to make sure he keeps me on it.
Taxi?